So what is cultural appropriation? Cultural appropriation is when a dominant group adopts elements of a marginalized group's culture.
So the weight of what's being taken or misrepresented is often referred to as cultural misappropriation because of the ways that it can violate a person's culture.
When we think of something like Black culture, for example, we can think of many things that all of us engage in, even non-Black folks. So music, TV, clothing, a bunch of different things. The problem is that a lot of people tend to engage in this culture, but don't tend to engage in actually supporting Black lives. So in a society where we see that Black bodies are often undervalued and unprotected, it can be troublesome and show some ignorance when people don't pay attention to these issues that happen within Black communities or racialized communities or different cultural communities, but choose to engage in the aspects of the culture or race that they think is really cool or trendy.
Appropriation can lead to creating stereotypes about marginalized people. It can be a way of saying that our self-expression is more important than that culture. And it can also be a way to lead people to believe that appropriation is the only way to appreciate a certain culture.
So sometimes you'll hear the argument from dominant groups that racialized people or minority cultures are also appropriating white culture or appropriating Western culture. So doing things like speaking English or doing things like Black girls wearing blonde weaves or certain clothing. And the difficulty with this is that assimilation and appropriation are actually quite different. So a lot of times people who come from different areas of the world, when they come to Western societies and have to fit into a certain standard, they have to kind of assimilate in regards to safety in order to move through spaces comfortably, in order to get jobs, in order to be accepted. A lot of times people are actually banned from workplaces for wearing certain hairstyles that are natural to them and their culture, or speaking their native language. So it is particularly important for these people to assimilate in those kind of times, whereas pulling from marginalized cultures when you are in a dominant group and you already have access to these opportunities is quite different.
Appropriation is harmful in that it strips away the roots of a culture by reducing its elements to accessories, fashion statements, and otherwise. While appropriation reduces a culture, appreciating a culture means engaging with it through deep listening and learning how to make space for it.
When it comes to Halloween, it's important to remember that there are many costumes you can choose from, but groups of people don't count. People's cultures, races, religions don't count as costumes. Dressing up as Shrek or a Disney princess or even your favorite pop star is totally acceptable. But dressing up as an indigenous person or a Black person just simply as themselves doesn't count and is deeply disrespectful and offensive. So this Halloween, make sure you don't culturally appropriate and have a happy Halloween, Brock students.